I'm not particularly optimistic. I think in some respects this is the worst of both worlds. So it's neither a short extension, which would have put pressure on MPs to actually make their mind up and come to a decision, nor was it really long enough to allow for a fundamental change in British circumstances. A second referendum, I don't want that, but I think some people would see that as a path through. So in some respects, it's the anti-Goldilocks extension, neither too short nor too long. It's just the absolute wrong length for anything.
So you don't think a second referendum is the way to go? Explain.
Well, I think at this point the country is divided. The country was divided, and another referendum would just show that the country was still divided. And I don't think it would really point to a path through. You might get a slightly different result, but we'd then be on a course to a totally unstable membership for a few more years. I think the MPs are avoiding the fundamental choices, and there are only three. Either you leave without a deal, which I think Parliament will try and block, or you don't leave, you revoke Article 50, perhaps after a second referendum, or you leave with a negotiated agreement, and that's the current deal. And everything else is just a distraction. So we're hearing discussions about softer Brexits or common market 2.0, a customs union. All of those are already possible with the current deal. But what we're seeing is MPs refusing to actually shift a bit and accept that those are the real choices.
Henry, the last 3 years have been deeply humiliating for Theresa May, and I feel like this is the peak because she has no say and she's on her way out. What's the fate now for Theresa May after this new embarrassment?
It's another humiliation, exactly as you say. I think the problem that she's got is that it all comes back to that general election back in 2017 where she lost her majority, and ever since then she's just been in this stalemate, this limbo where she can't move in any direction, and Parliament doesn't allow her to do that. I don't think though that this extension will necessarily force any clarity. We'll just continue stumbling on. I think yes, this was a difficult council for Theresa May, and she wasn't in the room when decisions were being made about the UK, but there was also a lot of disagreement on the EU side. We saw a clip just a minute ago of Emmanuel Macron, but he didn't get what he wanted. He was pushing for a very short extension and to have a lot of tough conditions imposed on the UK. The rest of the EU didn't agree with him. So it's a reminder that Britain is, yes, we're in this difficult position, we're trying to do something very difficult, but we're not the only country in Europe in potentially an isolated position.
We've got to talk about EU elections because obviously Theresa May, that she would never participate in them. Now I guess she will have to, or do you think she'll step down before?
I think she'll stay in position for those elections, and we're going to have to start, and we already are starting to prepare for them. It's going to cost quite a lot of money, it'll be very unpopular, and I suspect that there'll be a hammering for the two main established parties. My think tank did a poll recently that showed that the Labour Party support pretty much holds up, but the Conservatives lose a lot, particularly to a new challenger party led by Nigel Farage.
But does it even matter? Because if the UK exits by the end of October, do these results matter at all?
Well, I think it does matter because you could have a situation where the new challenger parties get an elected foothold in British politics. So on the one hand, the Brexit Party by Nigel Farage, on the other hand, Change UK determined at the other end of the Brexit spectrum to have a second referendum. So you might have a position where both parties get new elected positions, get infrastructure and begin to therefore develop more of a political brand. But at another level, these elections are slightly absurd because nobody really wants them other than those who want to stay in the EU in the first place.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.